while out cycling a couple of days ago, I came across this lovely scene on my little local route that I use, and this is quite striking for a number of reasons. Certainly if you're a watercolour painter, you've got lots of sharp contrasts, dark contrasts, striking the light on this building here clearly coming from the right, and dark shadows here. This is hidden away and across the road here. But what struck me as really interesting was this beautiful house. If I bring it a little bit closer, this is I take it probably a mid or late Victorian house, and it is so, well, it's almost identical, I would say, to the one my grandfather lived in. And apparently, I think there were books of designs which architects, I guess, and builders could call upon. So I suppose there are thousands like this around the country. So it's got lots of meaning for me. And they say if you're going to paint something, let it strike you, let it demand to be painted. It's got to give you some degree of enthusiasm, otherwise don't bother to paint it. So it worked for me on a lot of reasons. But also, if I bring this up, can you see well, we'll ignore the stop sign for a start, that's going to go. But look at these lovely plants here. Those yellow berries, orange yellow, the red ones there, and the shapes of the buildings. So anyway, I'm going to have a go at that. So let's crack on with that. And you can see that I've sketched it out fairly detailed, actually. I don't usually paint, do so much detail in a sketch, but I started that a couple of evenings ago, and I thought, well, let's just see. I might just leave it as a sketch, but no, let's get on and paint it and see what we can make of it. So I'm going to use today, well, the last couple of days I've been using this little Winsor & Newton travel kit. It's a little plein air system, but these are all quality paints here. They're artist quality. So I've got the ultramarine there, Winsor blue there, Viridian, sap green, Chinese white, cadmium, yellow, lemon yellow, yellow ochre, crimson alizarin, I think it's a cadmium red. They're actually a little bit dirty. I need to clean that off a little bit so you can see there. And then I've got raw sienna and umber as well. So let's crack on. So I think I'm going to start with, I'm going to go with this Winsor blue. This is unique sort of mixture in this kit, or to Winsor Newton, I should say. Don't often use that. I'm more use cadmium or ultramarine if I want it warmer or a bit cooler. I suppose I could use the cerulean, but I'm going to go for something here, nice strong colour. I'm going to do a graduated wash. So I'm going to just sweep along here, letting it run down over my scene. Just continuing the bead through. It doesn't matter if I go over these houses, because they're going to be much darker anyway. So we'll bring it down a little bit like that. But I think I'm going to step it up a little bit, because as you know, that watercolour paints, they will dry considerably lighter. Some people say up to 50%, but I think that depends upon your paper and obviously the sort of paints you've got. Right, so let's go with that, let that bleed down a little bit. Now what I'm going to do is, there's a few wispy clouds actually, so I'm going to take this brush here. This is a 1-inch flat, going to dampen it a little bit and just lift out the odd cloud here and there. I think we could do that with a bit of tissue as well. Just wispy clouds, so I'm going to leave it like that. Okay, it doesn't matter that I've over that house in particular, because I'm going to make that much darker. So the next thing, we ought to get some of this road, sort of all this white paper in front of us here. So I think I'm going to just sweep in a general wash there, a little bit of crimson alizarin, a bit of raw sienna perhaps, just to take some of that out. A little bit of green there. Let's go back, just the dregs of some stuff left on my other palette, so got to have a little darker bit there on that. I'm going to put in the shadow areas later as we go, so I can use a little bit of dry brush here, so leave some of the white showing through. So again, I'm just making a little earthy colour. Let's put a bit of brown. Let's get a little bit of blue in there too. It's a bit darker in places. There's a road coming in. This is a crossroads here. Let's get a little bit of purpley colour going there. Very, very strong, this Winsor & Newton kit here. So I've got a mixture of colours there. Right, let's leave that for the moment. Let it blend in. We can put some texture in as we go when it's a bit drier. So now let's get, well, for me the star of the show is this lovely house here. So I'm going to get a little bit smaller or different brush, I should say, round. I'm going to go round. It's a graduate round number 10 here. So I just want to sweep some colour in here. Let's get something for that roof. A little bit of umber there, burnt umber. Let's put a little bit of blue in it. Yes, that's close. Yes, I think I can do with that. So I'm going to just sweep in this roof. Right, okay, leave it that. I'll put some sort of reddish terracotta colours in a little later. But when I've got this colour, I'm going to put a slightly darker over here. So I've still got my umber there, a little bit of blue. I'm going to drop a little tiny bit of red. I want to change it, make it a little darker. So put a bit of brown. Yes, a little bit of blue, that's better. Getting a little darker now, a little more. Right. Let's go along with this. Now I need to make this darker than this, and that's not the case at the moment. So I'm going to step up that a little bit. I've got some Payne's Grey on my other palette, which I think will do the job for me. I've got a much bigger palette here with a big range of colours. So I've got some Payne's Grey, this one here, you can see that, a little bit left on my palette, so I think I'm going to use some of that. I don't want it black too dark, I do want to take it down a bit darker because I need contrast with this end of the building, which isn't a light anyway. So let's go with that. Okay, now I need to use this black actually, or this Payne's Grey, these darker tones. Various other parts of my sketch. Yes, I think I've got a sort of gateway there, door here. This is my first wash. I will make this much darker as I go. And the front of this building here, it's quite dark here. Some cottages here. So I'll do that. And then go back, get some more of that darker colour. And do in here. In the shadow of the adjoining house there. There's a tree which I'll put in. A little bit lighter there. So I'll just wipe my brush off a little bit. That part of the roof. Let's get a bit of brown. Give me some contrast there. Use some of that colour there on that chimney as well. But let's yes, I need to have something in here. Show that building there. Right, let's get the end of this. So that's a bit of ochre. I think we're going to go there. So back to my little kit. So I want to explore using these paints a little bit more. So they are artist quality. So they're quite intense. You need very little mixture on your brush. It goes a long way. That's the one thing you can say about watercolours. They go a long way for your money. Right, there's a window there. Just we'll paint around. Some stuff there. Now, where else have I got a similar colour? Somewhat there on this adjacent building. I'm going to try and keep this light. Keep the light into the painting if we can. And the front of this building too, we've got to paint around those windows. Right, okay, there we go. Just a gentle wash. Try and paint around the windows. I'll come in with some more detail later. But while this is a little damp, I can drop a few little different tones in there. You can do this with the wet on wet technique. It adds to the interest with watercolour. It does some surprising things. Surprise you sometimes. Sometimes you're a little daunted by it. You think, oh, I didn't really want that. But if you let it settle a bit, sometimes it can work. So I need a darker colour now along this bottom of this. So I'm going with some umber. Slight touch of blue to darken it a bit. Along there is all dark. It's in the shadowed area. And this part of the house is not catching so much light. The light is coming right to left. So this lower part's not getting quite as much. But generally it's, I suppose I can vary it a little bit. Right, okay. will tighten up considerably when you put your windows in. So they all go through a little bit of ugly stage. A bit darker on that side. This is the shadow side. So I'm going to get a little bit of that blue. A little bit more umber. And put some shadow in this side of the chimneys. Yes, they're all got this, because they're all in the shadow area. And I need to darken up quite a bit in some of the area. A little darker, bluey, darker colour. Yes, let's bite the bullet here. Yes, it's much, much darker here. On that edge there. Dry off our brush a little bit. I want to try and preserve some of the lights. This is the danger with following a photograph. You tend to got to be careful not to chase it. Sort of try and replicate it. And of course, what you're doing is, this is your painting. It's not a photograph. So you can vary it as you will. Yes, that needs to be dark. Down there. Got to get that roof in as well. And there's some dormer windows in there which we'll bring up a little bit later. Now let's get some of the something in too. Now we've got this side. Yes, we can put some different colours in here. There's a wall here. This wall coming on the side of this house there. And along the bottom here, got like a curtain, sort of bricky. Pillars by the gate there. So I'll put some more detail in later. We can put some different contrasts here with this building. Let's use some darker greys, neutral tones perhaps. There's a window going to go in there in a minute. And the roof, now let me think. Yes, this roof, I ought to get that in while we're here. So we can do that. Again, get some of the blues. Very little required. Some burnt umber there. I think I need more blue, making it much darker. Yes, we can do that. Right, okay, we'll do that. Let's go with that. Use that dark tone on our doorway there. Needs a bit darker too. And well, I've got some darks going. I can some marks there. Get these line, help this line there. And it's good to put a line there on the eaves, and we'll deal with that because we'll get some more shadow in shortly. This need more contrast there. A little bit coming there, and big sort of shadowed area there. And yes, I think there's I've got a drain pipe coming down here. Let's get some darks there. Right, let's get the, oh, I know what we could do. Well, just over this is a bit of a bay window there. So we can put the dark over there. We can just tap in some of these windows as well. Some darks. Right. Okay, let's now I need to try and emphasize some windows here, so I need some darks here. Let's make it a really bit darker. So I'll get again some of that blue, that burnt umber. So this is a thicker mix. So I'm going to look where I've seen some darker areas, like that. Yes, we were doing here, weren't we? We were trying to get some darks in. Road comes up a hill here somewhat, so that's much darker. I think we're just better. You can barely see what's happening up here actually. It's just all dark. But I need to preserve some of the lights. I think I'll go back with a finer brush and do some detail. So let's get the front of the star of the show here, and that's a lovely sort of terracotta. So a brick. So I've got some cadmium red there, see on that little palette there, and a little bit of burnt sienna. I think I'm going to go with that. It's a fairly bright, so I think the fact that it's going to dry a lot lighter, I'm just going to be bold and put it in. I want to leave some areas here because they've got some lovely red and orange berries. So I want to keep some, don't want to make it too dark. I want it to, when I put the berries in, it to show. Along here it's going to be all green. Actually, well, we've got that reddish colour. We could do these pillars. Here are several pillars here. And to the right, we've got that pillar there. And some brickwork. Let's kind of hint at some of that. Reddish brick. And this gateway here is a nice brown. Got a nice little gate here actually. Nice shape coming up here. We'll try and do that. Right. Actually, well, I've got this rather nice bricky colour. Let's get the chimneys in, if we can do that. You don't have to follow in any particular order when you paint. Some people just like to go down like this from the top and religiously follow the order, but I just go depending on the colour I've got. If it suits my purpose, it's going in like that. Which I think I'm going to put a little bit of colour into those eaves, those dormers I should say. Bring some changes. Make some tonal variety there. Yes, let's use the colour there and there. There are some nice details that I can put into the onto the ridge line later, but this is also bricked as well, so I'm laying it over my previous colour so I can leave little bits through to come through it. Need to put some windows in there, some little brick areas, and let's get a little change of colour for this roof here. Bit sort of slaty blue colour. So it's all about contrast and change. Keep it interesting. Right, how's it looking? Is it coming along? Got big shadows area here actually. I need to get some colours going in there. Yes, I can see them now. But no, let's get some of finish this building with a bit of green. So let's get a mixture of, I've got some Viridian here, which is very, very fierce, as you can see there. But if you mix it with a bit of blue, we can get a variety of colours. So we'll put a gentle bits of Viridian there, and then we'll put some different greens, some sap green on it. There, coming down. And I've also got a green here, so I think I'm going to tap that in, a little tree here. Little vegetation. And this green actually is coming out over this roof line a little bit. And also we've got some trees behind here. So a little bit projecting here. Along here, got a privet hedge. So let me change that a little bit. I've just put a bit of yellow in it, in my green mix. So we've got something different there. And we've got trees here actually. The road here. Need to darken down here, put some blue in, I think. Get something a bit more road-like. So again, mixing up some umber there, a little bit of blue, a little bit of umber again, darken it. It's a little bit too brown, put a bit of blue in there. Okay, it's much darker in here. It's coming up to this wall. I need to put some darks into my gate. Put some detail in. Pavement coming around like this. Got the road comes, got the curb, so we've got to suggest that. And we've got sort of lines in the road, a little bit of dry brush work. Something else I think I need there. Right, let's finish off that house. A bit more green. So now let me think. I need some greens here, different ones. Going down that house. A little bit of a tree. I think we put a bit of ochre in there. Complete that wall area. Right. Now let's get these lovely berries. So I'm going to get a small brush now. A nice stiff mixture of some brilliant colours. This tiny little brush here. It's a number 1, round. So I'm going to get some crimson alizarin here. Very thick mixture. And just tap in all down here. Some mass of lovely berries. I'm not sure what plant it was. Maybe some of you out there can tell me. Lots of berries. Now I need to have some orangey colour as well. So I think I'm going to mix up a little my cadmium there. You see that? Very strong, this cadmium. And I'm going to get a little bit of cadmium yellow. See if I can get myself a nice orangey colour. It's a bit like it's a very stiff mixture, so let's go with it. It came all down here, across here, surrounding this lovely doorway, like that. So let's go back to that crimson. Listen, let's leave that for the moment. I need to bring it down a little bit actually. I think we can do that. Bring down here. Use these colours to give you some variety in the textures. Let me think, what do I have there? Some darks. Let me get some darks going. Just there. That was a bin or something to do with the gates, I'm not sure. Oh, I tell you what I can do now. Well, I've got it. There's some darks needed here, some railings here, and yes, they go just in front of the green actually. So let's see if I can hint at them. Windows in as well. I've got to get that bit of shadow line under there as well. More windows here. It's a sort of post there. A hint of a window there as well, coming on that side there, here. Got a road sign here. Yes, we've got there's a gate in here. Put that in. Got a window here. values, just suggesting them. A door there, a window, and I've got some shadow on this side of the chimney, and they're all casting a shadow actually. Let's go with that right away. Well, we have a bit of a darker colour to suggest it. Right, then I have, I've got to put some green just in here as well. Get something under our gate to suggest some detail. Some detail in the chimneys. Right, now let me think. I can see some darks in the other side of this this pillar here. I need to get that done. Under our gate there. Bit of a driveway there, I think. Right. Now let me think. Should I? Got enough greens. It's all about light and dark, of course. So I need to give some little detail in places. Not too much. A little bit on the pavement here. We need to emphasize our pavement a little bit. So I'm just using some colours, a little bit of dry brushwork to suggest that. But let's get in our big shadows on this corner area. So I'm going to go now with my, back to my round squirrel brush here. Got the number now, number 6, and get a little bit of a shadow colour. So the way I do that is use some crimson alizarin with our blue mixture, which I have. Can you see there? This sort of rather purpley colour, bluey purple, and have a good mixture. I want to make it quite dark though, so I've got to make sure I've got a nice juicy mixture there. Still another little bit of red, bit of more ultramarine. See, so I think I'm going to go with that now. Let's look carefully where I've got it. And yes, I think I need a little bit more reddy purpley colour. And all this was shadowed. Need it a bit darker too. Swept it right in here. All this was shadow. there's a line of being cast by some shadow form here. Some reminds buildings behind us. And across here we have a little bit as well. It came right up here. And we need to soften in there, that area. And on here we have different dabs of road repairs and what have you. So I'm just making a mixture now of some burnt umber, trying to suggest some of these flags and curbs that we have. Now I could start to put a lot more detail in. Perhaps I should do that. Get a smaller brush. Got to be careful not to overwork though. Soften that shadow up a bit. Some greeny colours here. Right, let's leave it that way for the moment. Well, I've got a small brush. I think I'm going to try and put a bit of detail into the top of that roof there. So I'm going to get a little bit of red, a little bit of burnt sienna, and see if I can put some little details. These Victorians, they put lots of decorative features in their work. Don't see now. Costs too much time. I suspect people can't be bothered anymore. Jeez, this colour's a little bit there, a bit more vivid colour. I think we're going to go for some of these chimneys. Let's go for it. Right. These pillars here, make them stand out a bit more. Right. Now, have I got enough? Oh, I know what I can do with some gouache. Some of these windows, I think I could put a little bit of white around some of the features. But actually, well, I got this nice, I got my Sennelier paints out. I think I'm going to go with a little bit more yellow here. And orange. Got some lovely orange on these Sennelier paints. Very creamy. And let's leave that like that. Actually, I can see I need a bit more green as well. So I'm going to make a little mixture up and bring some changes. Don't want that to be too strong because it's in the distance a little bit, but I can just hint at something there. Make this a little bit more prominent. And I can darken up along here, I think. Our privet, let's vary it. So we've got a mixture. I think I'm going to have a little bit of green here. Trees in the distance there. But yes, I was going to get on with the little bit of white, wasn't I? Still need darker in here. Get this road line drawn in better. So right, let's get on with the gouache, if I can find it. Yes, here it is. Over the windows there's some nice lintels which could benefit from a little bit more emphasis, although some watercolour artists don't like to use gouache. They, for some reason, they feel you should just preserve the whites with the paper, which I try to do, but sometimes a little bit of white will make a difference. Yes, I think over there, over these windows, they've got these white elements, the sills, window frames. Like that. Right, I can do that. Some white doors in. Some features. A little bit of highlighting as well. Catching it on the chimneys there. But I can see a little white element here. Side of a roof form I can see there. And let's get this a little more prominent. It's a lovely form actually. There's something here. Right, some road sign there. Don't want to bring too much of the white up here because this is the dark shadowed side, but we can hint at it that we have our windows here, and as we do in this, I have to keep them rather muted. Top of those dormers there, we can do that. And also along here, this side of the thing is catching some sunshine. Nice little bit on the corner there, like that. And a few highlights on our chimneys as well. Help bring them out a bit. Yes, actually, but this wall, this window has all down here. Okay. Right. Now I've got a little road sign here. Little speed sign, so I think there was a big stop sign, but I'm not going to put that in because it was obscuring the house, so I don't want to do that. So I'm just going to hint at this 20-mile-an-hour speed sign. Put a little bit of white here, gives me the contrasts, and we've got the street sign there. Got a sign there. I've got another one there. Right. Okay, and now this side of this house actually has got little brighter stones on the side there. Just picking it out a bit. Right. Now we've got a little bit of lead work there, which I can see. Now this side of the chimney is catching a little bit more light, so I think I can do that. As is this side, this one in the distance there. Let's do that. And along that edge of their chimney as well, of their roof line, I should say. Okay. Now, I can see we've got to put a few white lines in, I think, on here, and let's go up with that sign now. There's parts of this, it's dark here, but part of here is getting a little bit of light. I'll smudge that in. Just looking carefully at my house. I think I'm more or less done, actually. Yes, I think I'm going to leave it at that. As I said, it's just an impression of this crossroads in Carlton, here in Bedfordshire. So, hope you enjoyed it anyway. It was just a little bit of fun, just to capture the the dark shadow contrasting with the light. I might do a little bit more to emphasize the darkness, but I think I essentially have finished what I can do for this at the moment, so I'll leave it at that. So if you'd like to see more of these and be notified, please push the subscribe button and give me a like, so that encourages me to do some more work. So hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.